Kryon, Field of Consciousness greetings. My dear ones, I am Kryon of the Magnetic Service. Some ask an excellent question. And they say, I feel like I'm working on something much bigger. I have plans for much bigger things, and yet my life seems small. What's happening? Why should I feel this way? Dearest ones, I am here to tell you that this is absolutely normal and really proves the point of what I have been saying in the past few weeks in the channeling. That this year, this 2026, something is happening that you should know about. What many of you are understanding as old souls is who you are becoming, or perhaps the potential of who you are becoming. And once again, we say you must understand what is in the field. The field is what constitutes the consciousness of almost everyone on the planet, and the thoughts that are perhaps appropriate and even inappropriate, but they are still thoughts and they all end up in the field. It is not good or bad stuff. The field contains consciousness. Consciousness is energy, my dear ones. So the field is also energy. Many experiments have been conducted on the field, and even today it is studied as energy. This consciousness that is in the field is something you feel for yourselves, because the things in the field are not necessarily the future, but the planning that is happening now for the future. Now, in this, it seems there is an element pushing you to do bigger things. And the reason it feels that way to you is because indeed you might have a push to do it. You might have an opportunity to do it, and it's coming. And you might say the opportunities are starting to materialize, which you will then discover and work on, creating other things for yourself that are bigger than what you have. Now, we also talk about many things I have told you, but now you are starting to really see them in a better way. Why do you feel so small with yourselves? Because yes, you are an old soul on this planet, my dear ones, truly. That old soul, if you want to use that word, is something you all have, otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this program. Now, certainly there are layers due to how long you have been here and what you have been through, but old souls are those who start to listen to esoteric things because they say, is there a greater truth? Are there things I should know? And part of these greater truths that you might be able to grasp and know is that there are energies that will help you, and they are designed to help you on this planet. Esoteric, metaphysical, but they are energies. And in 2026, we have given you information that the intuition you rely on for so many things will increase. So, as these intuitive things begin to increase, you will be aware of the things to come. Now, again, it is not future prediction, but it is there almost like the potential of what you might do. Again, let me explain to you why you feel so small. It's been years and years spent beating the old soul. That's the best way I could give you this information about the energy. 23, 24, 25 were not necessarily good years. And what I mean by good years, they are not typical years. How many of you old souls felt it was difficult? Now, I have already addressed this topic and told you in the first channeling of 26, but here we are again answering a specific question you asked. Why do I feel small? This energy hasn't really let the joy of living show through. It just hasn't. You need to hear it said. You need to hear it said often, about why you feel a certain way when something different is happening, because there is a change underway. That's why. And the change underway is something we had all told you would happen, and it is just part of what we had told you would happen. And all of this is part of the snowball rolling down the hill. This is in the field. Perhaps I should explain it to you once more, but first I want you to clearly understand why you feel so small. This old energy of Earth is really old. It's your grandfather's energy. It's his grandfather's energy. It's an energy that has always been here. It's the energy of consciousness. There is no special dark energy. It's just consciousness. It's the way the world thinks, and this has been on the field. What the world perceives about life in general, or the value of life in general, and how this has slowly but inexorably turned into something else. But more than this, it's about what humanity deserves. Compassion. Does humanity in general deserve compassion? Has it been in the forefront of consciousness? And the answer is no. What role does money play in all this? Is greed something that would change the world's landscape? And the answer is, of course. It always has and always will. Only it is changing. It is really changing, my dear ones. And that's the other thing you will see. So, if you feel small, you are like everyone else who feels small. This energy is not something that pushes you towards joy or towards laughter, really. It is something that pushes you towards depression. Perhaps some of you need to hear it said. Those who need to hear it said are those who say, why can't I move forward? Why do things always push me back? It didn't happen before. I thought I had a good relationship with spirit, but now I wonder. Now, if you are among these, the darkness, I would say the dark energy, the old energy has really done its job. They want to drag you back into the old energy. They don't want you to look ahead. They don't want you to have the slightest idea that things are changing and that light can emerge, or that humanity can actually change itself with all that might come. They don't want it, because it really interrupts what is normal. And that normality is something the old energy depends on for everything. Funding, control. Everything is starting to change. What happens when a population suddenly awakens to a greater truth and sees ugliness everywhere around it? What happens? The answer is this, that it begins to change it. It's not necessarily a revolution. It simply begins to change it. Humanity awakening to light begins to work with light. It begins to gather other lightworkers around itself, and this changes. This is what is happening this year and in the years to come, and we had told you. The field. Oh, this is really interesting. What's in the field? Well, we told you, it's everyone's thoughts. It's all the things being worked on right now, and not everyone can grasp everything. The field is designed so that old souls gather what they need. That's how it's designed. And if I told you that in the field are your future potentials? This might even change your divine purpose. It could change everything. And if I told you that in the field there is a place where you feel more at peace, because it begins to readjust how you feel with yourself? And if in the field there were ways to finally relax from the chaotic world around you and say, wow, now I feel much better for the love of God in me and in spirit. It's almost as if the sun has come out. I used this phrase in other channels this year. Dearest ones, we are observing the manifestation of a brighter future that is manifesting right now in the field, and it is what you feel. This is also the dichotomy of why you feel so small, and we have just told you the reason. How can you experience both things at the same time? Well, one is true and the other is not, you might say. I'll give you a hint about which one is not. That old energy will go away. Slowly. Very slowly. You will see what the snowball brings. The snowball is, I would say, the metaphor of things that are changing, that are in the field, that are in the planning stage, that are here and that will change humanity for the better. It's the snowball that shows compassionate action in unexpected places. A new type of activity, a new type of government. There are so many things that will be imposed on you by these new incoming energies that you didn't expect. I want you to expect them and see them. You will recognize them because they are full of compassion. They are full of a loving and caring energy. Full of care. What would happen if you suddenly saw bills coming from Congress full of care, of real care? You would say, wow, is something happening? Most of you would, because it's not typical. It really isn't. There will always be someone who objects, and what if you found one that is absolutely compassionate? This is the beginning. Then you'll see what happens. The consciousness of the planet is what controls what you do. It controls what you do because those in command eventually begin to sense it. Those in command are often the youth of the latest generation who are growing up. They feel it and begin to change. We have already told you, the old guard is leaving and you will notice. Perhaps it's not leaving fast enough, but when it does, you will see it won't be replaced by another old guard. You will ensure they are younger, more aware, a bit more compassionate, perhaps even indigo. This is what we have already told you. That's why you feel these things coming, my dear ones. You are right. You are bigger than you think. Wait. I am Kryon in love with all of you. And so it is. The power of conscious intention, choosing your path consciously. Even when the path seems uncertain, choosing to act with conscious intention allows you to face life with clarity and determination. Every decision made with the energy of the heart is an opportunity to align with your authentic self, rather than reacting based on past habits or fears. By stopping to reflect on your motivations and the energy you bring in every moment, you gain awareness of the subtle forces shaping your experiences. This greater awareness not only guides you towards actions that support your ascension, but also helps you recognize patterns that no longer serve you, opening space for deeper transformation. Conscious intention is a powerful tool for personal evolution because it transforms daily choices into meaningful creative acts. Even small gestures, if based on awareness, extend outward, shaping the environment, relationships, and self-perception. With every conscious choice, you strengthen the awareness of being an active participant in your life, learning, evolving, and becoming more fully yourself. Expanding into this truth, uncertainty becomes less daunting, because every step, however small, carries with it a higher potential for self-evolution, understanding, and connection with your true essence. In the energy of the new earth, conscious intention is not just a personal practice, it is a fundamental force shaping collective reality. As the planet's vibration increases, the choices we make from a conscious, heart-centered position ripple outward, influencing not only our lives, but also the energetic field of humanity itself. Acting with conscious intention allows us to align with higher frequencies, dissolve old patterns, and co-create a new earthly reality based on appropriateness, compassion, integrity, intuition, clarity, and unity. How decisions accelerate your ascension. The universe responds faster when you decide, because decision is alignment in motion. Asking keeps you in possibility, but deciding aligns the energy to a specific frequency. When a choice is made based on aspects of the soul/higher self, rather than based on fear or hesitation, this signals readiness. This clarity condenses infinite timelines into a single embodied experience. Ascension accelerates when intention becomes action, and the universe mirrors this coherence with immediate energetic support. The universe responds faster when you decide, not when you ask. Choice reduces timelines because consciousness is the organizing force of reality. Every decision selects a version of you and a corresponding world that comes to meet you. In higher states of awareness, delays dissolve and manifestations move quickly, while resistance thins and trust deepens. Ascension is not about waiting for a sign, but about becoming the sign through a decisive alignment with your conscious intention and highest truth. Moving forward, this practice becomes beneficial because the old methods of unconscious reaction no longer serve the collective evolution. Every deliberate, heart-guided action becomes a beacon, guiding both humanity and the world towards a more conscious and balanced future. In the loving and devoted service of Ascension Lightworkers. Jeshua. Staying in Love. Part 1. The time has come for you to visibly showcase your acquired knowledge, your internalized insights, and your realized healing in practice. The time has come when God answers you in your heart and heaven guides you safely through your days on earth. The time has come when the meaning of your life is revealed to you, the reason why you are here on earth today, here and now. Knowledge and love flow to you from the infinite cornucopia of God, and therefore everything is given to you today to live a meaningful life. Beloved one, I am Jesus Christ. Now I am with you and now I am among you. The love of God spreads over this earth and all humanity is touched by this love and initiated by God. Every stone, every plant, every animal, and every human being is an expression of His grace, is under His care and His protection. How is it possible that the world is like this? How is it possible that murder and chaos reign, that falsehood spreads as if truth does not exist? How can humanity prosper when it is oppressed and misled day after day? And how is it possible for you to stay in love amidst all the meanness and lack of love that is being unleashed? Beloved ones, this message is about just that. Many people find it increasingly difficult to remain centered. Even if internally aligned with the light and love of God, the daily events of this world often disorient and unbalance. Considering the suffering and upheaval on earth caused by divisions between people, one often feels like screaming and responding with revenge rather than love. Living love where hatred confronts you, where ignorance is passed off as knowledge and lies are presented as truth, is not only a great challenge, but often seems simply impossible. Is this what is required of you? Is the goal of all holiness perhaps to remain in love when the storm rages outside and the ship of life threatens to sink? Inner growth is key. Beloved one, first, it is necessary to take a step back from the situation and observe the scene from the outside, which means, first of all, you are a human being, so do not place superhuman demands on yourself. Because you grow in unconditional love for all that is. It is a process that develops gradually, life after life. Your inner growth, i.e., the love you have realized, determines how you react and respond to external events. It is your inner growth that allows you to think, speak, feel, and act appropriately. In your self-reflection, never subject yourself to self-evaluation or self-denigration, but observe without judgment how you feel in a situation at that moment. A person can only be free if they take the freedom to be what they are today, here and now. All else is fiction and pretense of what is not yet. Ashrams and churches are full of people who have prayers of love on their lips but who, due to unresolved life issues, cannot pass the practical test of love in everyday life. Therefore, it is better to live as you are now rather than live as you would like to be and will be. The best version of you already exists. You are still on the path to an even better version of yourself. This is the first and most important step towards unconditional love. Being honest with yourself. What have I already internalized and what do I feel incapable of? The answer to this question brings relief to the theme of unconditional love, which many people are magically attracted to, but which in practice often overwhelms them. How to stay in love. So, how can you stay in love today? By loving yourself just as you are now. This is the first step, and it will bring you giant strides towards unconditional love. As in every age, to stay in love today requires the wisdom of a clear mind, a healed energetic body, and a constant connection with God. Once this goal is reached, you no longer ask for unconditional love, but you have embraced your divine nature and have found what you were looking for. Now you can no longer help but see the divine in everything and perceive God in everyone. As long as you continue to seek God within yourself, you will not be able to find Him everywhere in the external world. In summary, the degree of healing determines where you are in daily consciousness, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Let's delve deeper into this topic. To stay in love in difficult times, 3 things are needed. 1. Understanding. 2. Forgiveness. 3. Trust. Understand that all life is interconnected and that you recognize yourself in the actions of those around you. You are at the end of your journey and there is no more evil within you. Your neighbor is at the beginning of their earthly journey and is beginning to become complicit in evil. What you have experienced has shaped you and made you the person you are today. What you have experienced has marked you, guided you on the path of healing, and allowed your soul to mature. What you have seen has blinded your eyes and broken your heart. You have been led to the light, you have undertaken the journey to get there, even if your healing is still incomplete. While desire has faded in those embarking on the dark path, the desire for God has awakened within you. You have entered a new cycle, because you are so saturated with darkness that the new world, the earth of light, can reveal itself to you, and God can manifest. Seeing this means understanding the paths others are taking today and those who lose their way in time. Forgiveness. Forgiving as you have been forgiven is the second aspect under which you should categorize and put into practice all that is. It is difficult to forgive when injustice screams to the heavens and a trail of emotional and physical devastation has crossed a life. Yes, it is so, therefore do not overwhelm yourself, but give yourself the time you need. You are a person in whom God has long slept and in whom God is now awakening, and you are realizing, every healing is complete only through the act of forgiveness. Take all the time you need. It is the master key for every healing. Trust in life, trust in yourself, trust in God. This is the third pillar that allows you to remain in love, that opens for you the possibility to remain positively oriented. Believe that everything has its own reason, its own justification, and its own meaning, and believe that in the end everything must move towards good, the divine, and light. The unwritten law of creation is, everything is God. God created the individual aspects of creation so that God could recognize Himself in the individual and the individual in God. The mystery of all being. Unity. Once this level is reached, you remain in love. Your natural state of being becomes your natural daily state. Whatever happens, remain with yourself, centered, anchored in God and in love. And you ask, can I live love when I am hurt, when I encounter injustice, and when anger arises? I tell you, remain in love even when the signs of the times wound you deeply in the heart. Remain in love, even when anger arises due to the circumstances of the moment. Remain in love even if, as I once did, you drive the money changers from the temple. No one can remain permanently centered, balanced, and at peace because of the current circumstances. Ensure you extend the periods of inner peace and connection. That is what counts, not a human being that functions perfectly 24 hours a day. Restlessness is natural when moving away from a situation. Anger is useful if it is temporary, when you vent, and misunderstanding is not a sin as long as the heart seeks understanding. The solution is, take the time you need to regain your strength and your inner center. No one expects superhuman feats from a divine being who has freely chosen to live on a limited planet. Forgetting to remember God is not a sin, but rather an inner program waiting to be discovered. What you are doing is already love. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. And so everything is a process. Remembering, becoming, finding yourself again, and awakening desire. Everything is a process that unfolds over eons, ultimately leading to the corresponding result of enlightenment and bliss. Humanity is now resolutely proceeding towards this door of knowledge. Therefore, treat yourselves with humanity, compassion, acceptance, indulgence, patience, intuition, and foresight. You are the most important person in your life. Always remember that, living life from the inside out means perceiving yourself first, loving yourself first, and seeing yourself first. Self-realization without following the desires of the ego, this is the path to enlightenment. JJK. So can I stay in a relationship even if I'm not in love at the moment? Loving doesn't always mean being in a good mood, right? Jesus Christ. Loving means developing understanding, practicing forgiveness, and internalizing trust. Loving means perceiving God in everything, And this leads you first of all to yourself. Beloved one, the degree of your inner healing determines the degree of your ability to love disturbing situations or frightening moments pass. And as long as you are aware of this dynamic, your ability to love will remain even in the greatest storms and upheavals. Your task is to move forward. My task is to accompany you. I am here among you, and I work directly with you. Whoever entrusts themselves to me is safe in God, because I live in Him. Please state your name here. Ask Jesus Christ for direct guidance in my life. I trust in your power and believe in my strength. I surrender to your guidance until the light and love of God illuminate me. Suraja om isthar om so, go in the name of God and perform your good deeds. Because there is no more evil in a heart healed by my love and dwelling in God's care. Go thus, until love endures. Jesus Christ, the Earth's resonant energy fields. We must understand that the greatest energetic changes, activations, and drastic shifts in frequencies, vibrations, and all aspects of cosmic energy and energy fields occur in the invisible planes and are not visible or measurable. As much as solar flares can be measured to a certain extent, solfeggio frequencies can be measured to a certain extent, the energies that are now pouring in and activating, since the new Earth has now fully merged with the new, go beyond our technologies, even if hidden, and beyond our limited understanding of them. Note that the resonance fields are now increased and are off the scale, while we return to intergalactic and cosmic struggles, and therefore the new Earth is now tuned to much higher resonance fields. Everything that does not resonate with these fields cannot operate on the new frequencies. Now, this applies to all of us, without exception. That is why it is so important to observe your own thoughts, words, and actions. But above all, what you observe, what you listen to, and what you absorb. If you now focus on fear-based energy, on enthusiasm around conflicts and the resulting criticism, on low-frequency thoughts, actions, words, and everything that is transmitted in amplified form now, to distract, to pull energy away from the soul itself, and thus sow more fear, more separation, more dissonance. The purification of all your energy fields is a daily, nightly, and daytime necessity. Maintain discipline. Stay focused and keep your inner sacred temples free from dissonances or discordant energies, or other. Use the violet flame and the pure white flame with the golden Christ ray and continue to do so throughout the day. As soon as you have cleared, purify, and then bring the cohesion fields of your heart's energy to the highest state of love, faith, trust, and focus on how you can serve from your heart and soul, and with great love. You are not a victim. You never have been. You are a highly evolved soul, who chose to be here on this planet, to support the energy and frequency of the new Earth and new humanity, and to hold the boat steady, even in the midst of violent storms and in the midst of calm and placid seas. Your resonance fields are being intensely boosted, to prepare you for what is now being activated and amplified. Tune in. Keep your higher transmission channels open and do not allow yourself to be distracted. Everything that is happening now is aimed at spreading dissonance. You are responsible for your resonance fields and what you transmit to others and to Mother Earth. That is why it is truly only love and the absence of fear that gives you the tools to navigate and allow the highest resonance frequency to lift you ever higher from the mire of the dissonant fields amplified by those who wish to keep you there, and bring you into a state where indeed you do not get involved or entangled in any way. What does not resonate with the resonance fields simply cannot enter and dissolves, dissipates, and disintegrates. Resonance fields act on the purity of intent, the purity of the soul, and indeed the purity of unconditional love. Because this is the universal divine law.